first, just kind of on the theme of equal is unfair. It's a huge topic. People talk about income inequality and they talk about the wealth gap, and you see this all the time. And it's not just income, it's no matter what, pick it. It could be gender inequality, it could be race, it could be
Yep.
whatever it is. But
Yeah.
inequality in general is a huge topic. Talk about inequality. Is it a bad thing? And just your thoughts on it. We'll kind of lead it from there.
No, absolutely. I mean, this is a consequence of kind of bad philosophy over the last 200 years, and has culminated, I'd say, over the last 40 to 50 years in a kind of in the elevation of a philosophy of egalitarianism as a moral ideal. It's kind of communism. It's kind of Marx, kind of out of Marx, but in many respects, it's worse. And it takes the ultimate ideal of equality to to its logical conclusion, which is pretty destructive. But egalitarianism is, unfortunately, has become the dead end philosophy of the left, and nobody, and sadly, there's really nobody to challenge it, because in order to challenge this philosophy, you have to have an alternative, and you have to have an alternative view of man and of the world, and of wealth, and just of society more broadly, and the individual. And sadly, most people on the right don't have that. I mean, the best you get is, I don't know, Jordan Peterson talking about lobsters. And with all due respect to Jordan Peterson, human beings are not lobsters. And so it's an easily refutable argument. We have the capacity to think. We have the capacity to, in some respect, override kind of the biological instincts that animals have. We don't live that way, and therefore, why not? Why shouldn't we all be equal? So there's a certain appeal to it, particularly in rich societies, where it seems like everybody's rich, so why can't? Oh, a lot of people are rich, so why can't everybody be rich? People have no clue where wealth comes from. People have no clue why some people have wealth, what the source of that wealth is, and why can't we just have everybody be happily wealthy and happily rich? And of course, the more aggressive egalitarians, and the more honest ones, if you will say, well, that's not even enough, because even if we're all equally rich, some of us are more handsome, and some of us are smarter, and some of us are this. How do we get rid of all the inequalities? And you see that in the modern left and the intersectionality and CRT and a lot of these movements, that it's not enough just to get the equality of money. It's they want somehow to make us all the same. The fact that we're different is what really offends them and upsets them. So this is the logical conclusion of a long philosophical line that goes back 200 years and really goes back to some extent to Christianity. Ayn Rand is opposed to this, and is opposed to it philosophically, partially to a large extent because Ayn Rand's focuses on the individual, not on some societal outcome, not on some societal utopia, but on what is good, what is right, and what is the nature of the individual. And once you take that perspective, then you start from the point of, we're all different. Each one of us is different. Each one of us has obviously different genes. We each one of us are born in different environments, but most importantly, we all make different choices. We have free will, again, which a lot of people, both on the left and the right, deny. The egalitarians deny it, but so does somebody like Jordan Peterson in the end. But we have free will. We make our choices ourselves, and therefore we do build it, right? To paraphrase Obama's famous speech, you didn't build that. But that's a rejection of free will. His whole speech is based on the idea that we're just automatons determined by our genes, our environment, and therefore don't deserve what we get. But Rand emphasizes that we do have free will, and the primary manifestation of free will is in the choice to think or not to think. It's in the choice to be rational or not to be rational. And at the end of the day, all wealth, all success, all values ultimately come from rational thought, from our capacity to reason, and in that sense, from those people who choose to activate their rational capacity, rational faculty. So entrepreneurs who build stuff and create stuff and change the world, and yeah, they make a lot of money if they're successful. that is not because they take risk. It's not because they work harder than anybody else. It's because they're using their mind in a unique way that creates huge value for lots of people, and that facilitates them becoming wealthy. So, when you take that away, when you take away their capacity, you limit their freedom. You take away their capacity to think and to pursue their own thoughts and their own values. You take away wealth creation, and you destroy the world. And in that sense, that's what Atlas Shrugged is about. Atlas Shrugged, for Rand, the theme of Atlas Shrugged was the role of the mind in human life. It's how the mind is what guides wealth creation, and what egalitarians demands at the end of the day. It's how they achieve the equality they want is for you to shut off your mind. It's to turn it off, stop creating the wealth so you can become like everybody else. And that means we're all poor, we're all miserable, we're all suffering, we're all oppressed.